Welcome back to Just a Geek in the Garage. Today I want to talk about Williams tools, specifically their screwdriver sets and their ratcheting screwdrivers, and kind of comparing them to Snap-on and what the pros and cons are to buying Williams versus Snap-on. The quick answer is there's very, very few cons to buying Williams versus Snap-on. But let's kind of get into it. So, if you guys probably saw my video on where to buy Snap-on quality tools for a fraction of the price. I featured some Williams screwdrivers in there, and then their ratcheting T-handles back here. So it's not a secret, but obviously Williams is owned by Snap-on. Now Snap-on will basically some of their tools are just simply rebranded Williams. Some tools are going to be a little bit different, and I'll kind of go over that. And most of the Williams tools that I've purchased, I would 100% recommend purchasing them again, especially value for what you're getting. There's only one tool really that I wouldn't recommend, and I'll kind of go into that at the very, very end. So the set that you see in front of you, minus the 3 T-handles in the back, this is the most comprehensive set that I could find on Williams hard handle screwdrivers. I think they call them the Endurogrip. For Snap-on, they're just simply called the hard handles. And these are, an older style Snap-on. They're not the new Instinct grip, but a lot of us, older guys still like the very old ones because this is, what we're kind of used to. They're still being manufactured, but they're very, very expensive. I mean, a set of I think 8 different screwdrivers here from Snap-on, I want to say is around $200, which is a crazy price to pay for screwdrivers. Especially when you compare, and let's kind of grab the one that's going to be the closest to it. Is right here. So if we're looking at these things here side by side, I mean, even in the light here, you can kind of see the grain looks identical. Obviously, this is green versus black. That's one of the small cons of Williams, is all of their stuff is a set color. It's not like Snap-on where you can kind of pick your color. But especially if you're a home gamer and you're not trying to distinguish your tools from another person, that doesn't really matter. Sometimes there's little features missing. Like, for example, this one has the little, I think this is it the bolstered end, where you can put a wrench on there for a little bit of extra torque. But outside of that, you can see, the length on this, the tip, everything, the shape, the grain, like I mentioned before, is all going to be identical. So this is just one screwdriver, just want to kind of show you. But, throughout this entire lineup, they're going to be the same. And actually, you know what? Let's show you one more, just so you can see what I'm kind of talking about. This is going to be the stubby versions. And again, outside of the color, you can see the shape of it, the grain of it, the tip, everything about it is going to be pretty much identical to the Snap-on. So, why would I want to pay $200 for 8 pieces from Snap-on, where I could pay this entire set, again, minus the T-handles in the back, usually runs for about $150 on Amazon. I know the price does fluctuate a bit, but that's going to be generally what you're going to get. So what do you get for $150? You're going to get 5 kind of traditional style hard handle Phillips. You're going to get, I think it's 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of the hard handle slotted with a couple of massive ones. This one right here from Snap-on by itself would probably cost you $150. And then when we're going 2 stubbies, one slotted and one number 2 Phillips. And then as we go down here into these blue and gray ones, let me kind of just grab one of these. This, if you're looking at it, if you're familiar with kind of Snap-on's lineup, you'll see that this is not a Snap-on tool, but this is made by Baco and is usually rebranded here as Blue Point. So, these last, whatever this is, the 5 are going to be more of the Blue Point style. And then the other 14 are going to be the Snap-on style. So, but it is nice. This is, you're going to get a couple of, much smaller precision sizes on here. And, the one thing that is really nice about these, let me see if I can grab it, is it actually offers a number 4 Phillips. I don't know about you, I own a lot of screwdriver sets, and very, very few go up to a number 4 in a set. So having this, plus, like I said, this huge guy, which is not supposed to be used as a pry bar, wink, wink. But these things have treated me very, very well. They're one of my kind of go-to screwdrivers, depending on what I'm working on. The Snap-on Instinct grip is still great. But again, the price that you're paying is, I think, a bit much for the average person. So that's their screwdriver set. And I'll link a description so you can kind of look at the details, all the sizes included, all that kind of stuff in the description. And then next up, I want to talk about their T-handle ratcheting screwdriver. So they offer, from my understanding, they offer 3 sizes. There's one with a 2-inch shank. There's one with a 3 7/8 inch shank, and one with a 7 7/8 inch shank. So let me go over kind of the medium-sized one. So basically, what you get is just a ratcheting screwdriver. Fits very nicely in the palm of your hand here, so you can get a lot of torque on there. It's reversible. You can put it in a neutral position. And then the funny part is, I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but it is literally a snap-on bit that's inside, right? Like if you were to search this bit number, that's a snap-on bit, which by itself is about $5 on Snap-on's website at least. And these things range from about the 2 smaller ones are about $30. The longer one is about $40. But on Snap-on's site, again, they have the same exact ones, different colors, however. But you can get, for, I think it's I want to say it's like 81, 88, and like 97. So I mean, they're double, triple the price that you would get for a Williams. And if you look at them, I actually got one here. We can take a look at. This is the long version. Is if you look at this guy, one note. This is the nut driver doesn't have the normal bit end, but you can tell just by looking at this portion. I mean, you'd be very, very hard pressed if I was to erase the Williams and Snap-on to tell the difference. So I say save yourself some money. Go for the Williams stuff. The stuff does come, from my understanding, with a lifetime warranty. You just have to go directly through Williams, which I'm assuming would be a phone call or an email. You definitely can't warranty these things on a Snap-on truck. So again, the pros and cons, as I kind of said, is the only 2 real cons that I could tell you in what you're looking in front of you is if you're really specific on wanting a color, it's like, oh, I need green, I need orange, I need red, then you're going to have to pay extra for that through Snap-on, because Williams is going to be basically what you see is what you get. And the other thing I mentioned that's going to be a con is the fact that, if you are a professional, you have a Snap-on dealer that comes to you, they're not going to warranty these things for you on the truck. Last up, because I kind of mentioned at the very beginning of the video, most of Williams tools, and I'm almost positive all this stuff is made in the USA as well, just like Snap-on. If I'm wrong, please correct me down below in the comments. So the only tool, the tools I should say that I've ever bought from Williams that I kind of regret buying is going to be their ratchets, right? So the ratchets, if you look at them, they look almost identical to the old Snap-on, and I think they even have the same date codes and all that kind of stuff. But the problem is, even if you buy this brand new today, it's the older technology that I believe is only like 36 teeth. And when you get used to something like the dual 80 or the 90 teeth that some companies have, or even 100, when you go back and try to use a 36 tooth ratchet, it feels like ancient technology. Nothing wrong with it. It's very, very quality. Looks very nice. Even all the stamping and stuff. When I compare this to the same version of a Snap-on, the 36 tooth Snap-on, they're again identical, and they're not horribly expensive. It's about $40 for something like this, maybe 50. Where Snap-on ratchets for a 3/8 fixed head like this is going to be probably like 100 plus $150. But that's for the newer dual 80 technology. So that's the only thing I would skip at the moment, at least from Williams, of the things that I own. One thing I have been wanting to look at is their sockets. I hear their sockets are very nice. Again, basically made by Snap-on. But I have the Caterpillar set, so I don't need to necessarily double dip on that. So tell me, guys, in the comments, what do you guys think? Do you guys own Williams? Do you like it? Do you think it's a good value? If you have ever broken anything, have you gone through the warranty process? If so, was it easy? Was it hard? Again, I'll have a link for all this stuff in the description if you guys want to see more details or make a purchase. But thank you for watching the video. Please like and subscribe.